but here come the pirates. Our harpoon gun is firing at them, killing them, one-shotting them, which is fantastic, but we've only got one cannon down. They're going to start setting fire to stuff. That's where our water cannon is going to come into play. They've set fire to the brewery. The brewery's too close to the water cannon. Water cannon is not putting out the brewery. It should put out... and the smelter's too far away. This is not good. Hey there, survivors. Cougar here, back with more Buoyancy gameplay. I have a lot to say about this game, but let's get rolling with some gameplay, and then I'll talk at you for a bit about how addictive I've been finding this gameplay. It looks like we do need some. I've been playing on another save since I left you guys. It looks like we do need another. We need more scrap metal. I've forgotten what all we had built on this save. So we do have a smelter, so good for that. Now we'll stop and rotate around and try to get our, hold on, speed this up to fast. And get going. We've got a destroyed ship with some crude oil here. We've got 2 deep divers to work on the oil. And of course my stuff is already on fire. The brewery and the greenhouse. Greenhouses are remarkably flammable in this game. I've learned a lot about how to set up the ship here so that it doesn't do this. We keep slamming into stuff and not being able to actually harvest it. My latest constructions look not much like what we've got going on here. This is not the most efficient way to do this. I'm going to work with what we've got, though, and see how this goes from here, instead of starting a new game and trying to incorporate all the good stuff I've learned on my own. Our population's only 35 on this city so far. There's a survivor's raft over there. I think with a greenhouse built, an extra storehouse built, a brewery built, I think we could go ahead and pick those guys up. We've got an evaporator already and a recycler. So our evaporator is turning out water and our greenhouse is turning out grains that we can turn into bread at a bakery. That's probably going to be our next construction. In fact, maybe we go ahead and build that now, knowing that we're going to add some people to our city in just a minute. Gives us the opportunity to go ahead and build something and not lose too much of the speed that we need to move around. So let's get a bakery down. Here-ish. Again, I'm going to have to work with what we've got here in terms of my initial layout. This is not the best layout. We've got a sickness on board. We have not built a medical hut yet, so we're just going to have to let them heal on their own until we get a medical hut built. Here's the medicine hut. That needs wood, plastic, and iron or metal to build. And we could be building that now as well, along with the bakery. I think we can afford to do that, in fact. We've got the wood for it, we've got the metal for it, we've got the plastic for it. Let's go ahead and build our medicine hut so that the next time we get an indication like that somebody's sick, we can actually send a doctor to treat them. Great, our bakery has been built. That'll be taken in the grain and the water that we've been making. The grain at the greenhouse, the water at the evaporator. We've got a school of fish over here. I think food, we need to stop and get some food in these people's bellies. If you look at the indicators up here, their happiness is good now that we've got a brewery built. Their happiness is up at 86%. Their nutrition is not great. We've got a little bit of food. Of course, our brewery's on fire. We've got a little bit of food. We've got a little bit of fish. No bread, no meat, no shellfish. So I think I will make a pit stop here and grab some of these. Should we go over and get the survivors before they drift too far away and come back for these? Oh, there's another survivor's raft right over here. Well, in that case, we're going to go for the school of fish. If we make it over to the other survivors after we get the fish, that's good. But if not, it's not the end of the world because we'll go pick up this survivor's raft right here first. We're just waiting on these guys on our deep divers to finish dredging up the crude oil here. They'll be getting there in just a sec. In the meantime, our bakery is waiting for people. We just don't have enough people to move the stuff around the city efficiently right now. Uh, so we definitely have to make a priority of getting more people on our city here. All right, they're done. Let's move over to the School of Fish. Let's grab these survivors first and then back up to the School of Fish. Maybe we can swing it around so we accomplish both at the same time. Yeah, brewery's on fire. I think this stuff catches fire a little too frequently at this point in early access. I would like the fires to be dialed back a little bit. We're going to build a water cannon, which will help a lot. Survivors, we will rescue them. We got 4 new survivors and 8 bread from 8 survivors from that raft. Well, that's more than I've ever seen on a raft before. It's usually 4. So let's get this fish. Now that we've got 42 people on our raft, and then afterward we'll try to head over and see if we can grab that second survivor raft. Although with 8 on this raft, as I said in the last video, we don't want to be pushing this too quickly. We don't want to expand too quickly to the point where everyone's really hungry all the time. All right, see the green clouds around some of our people here? They're sick. And what happened was, because we did not treat that the brewery's on fire again. That's 3 times within the first 5 minutes of us starting this playthrough. That is too much fire, devs on a boat. The people were sick because we left that person untreated and they got other people sick. We did not send a doctor out to them immediately, and other people got sick. But now we have a medicine hut. With the resources that it needs to actually create medical equipment or medical tools. So we're going to be able to do that more efficiently from now on. People won't be getting sick. Let's stop here briefly and grab the scrap metal off this ship. And then think about what comes next. Now, we just at the end of the last video, or toward the end of the last video, and had a pirate attack. So we have a little bit of downtime here before the next pirate attack, and we have to start thinking about defenses. But we should start thinking about that at some point. In fact, all right, the destroyed ship is done. I think we can go over here and grab these people. That's gonna. Oh, whoa! Sophia wasted away to nothing. Okay, a bunch of people they're very hungry. They're getting really hungry now. So that's got to become our top priority. And in that case, I'm going to pass by this survivor's raft. Now, there's a driftwood pile there that we need, another driftwood pile, another driftwood pile. But what we really need is food. We need the food more than we need the wood. There's a kelp forest with a school of fish, which is exactly what we need to kind of kickstart our food here. Another fire has begun. That's 4 fires within the first 10 minutes of play, which is too much, but it's still in early access. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about before, as I was playing this, as we're waiting for stuff to happen here, is so I got 4 new games over the course of this holiday, the Steam Winter Sale and some gifts. We got 3 more deaths due to lack of proper nourishment. Let's stop here and grab this kelp before we hit the kelp forest with the school of fish. We need all the food we can get right now, and I need to try to remember where that other batch of survivors was. Fortunately, they're drifting kind of along the same direction that we're heading, so they shouldn't be getting too far away from us as we do this, because we've now lost between 6 and 8 people to malnutrition, and I'd like to replenish that with these other survivors once we get some food on here to feed them. I'm going to keep coming back to this. I'm sorry if I keep getting interrupted, but I got a bunch of new games over the course of the winter break. I got that beautiful looking city builder Cliff Empire. I got Disco Elysium, which is a great RPG, but not really suitable for YouTubing because it's just a lot of reading, a lot of text. And then I got Workers, Soviet Republic, Workers and something, Workers and forget what it is, but it's also a city builder that I'm going to be doing some videos on soon. The point being, of the 4 new games that I got that I could be playing at any time, I keep coming back to this game. It's all about the gameplay, guys. The gameplay in this game is compelling. Compelling. 10 times more so for someone who has played all of the city builders that not all of them, but a good portion of the city builders that have ever been made for the PC, starting with SimCity back in the 80s, at which point I had to go over to my buddy Charlie's house, who had a Mac, because SimCity was originally released for the Mac. So I went over to his place to play it. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, this is a new and really interesting take on the city builder genre, and the gameplay is highly addictive, more so than something like Cliff Empire, where the graphics are astounding, just jaw-droppingly good. Rescue these guys. That's 4 survivors from the raft. They added 4 wood to our city. I think food has to continue to be our top priority here. There's an underwater peak over there. Let's see what else we got going over here. I'm just moving this way because we know there's stuff over here. If we have absolutely nothing else to get, we'll grab some driftwood. But just scanning around here, that's the underwater peak I just moused over out there. And maybe there was something else I moused over for a second. Anyway, and another fire within the first 12 minutes of playing. That's our 5th fire at the brewery. That's too much. Yeah, so this is the game. When I fire up the PC, the first thing I want to play is this. Not the beautiful graphics, Cliff Empire one that I think, I've played that game already. I played it when it was called Surviving Mars. I played it when it was called, City Skylines. I played it when it was called, and name any other city builder you want to. Um, there's no new gameplay ideas being introduced there that I really, really feel the need to explore. This game, I feel the need to explore and get good at, because I've never seen a game like this before, um, and it's freaking addictive. It really is. More fires. So that's 6 fires in the first 18 minutes of game, or 13 minutes of gameplay. And now we've got a storm inbound. Sounds like it's coming from this way. All right, we're already moving. That's good. We do not have to get this giant raft moving. It was already moving when we got the notification, so we should be able to avoid this storm, no problemo. And in the downtime that it's going to take to move out of the way, this gives us a minute to scout around and see where else we're going to go. Lots of driftwood here. Lots of driftwood that we don't really need. Oh, he might tag a couple of our. Yeah. All right. A deep diver has caught fire. A bakery was destroyed. Our bakery was destroyed. Our medicine hut caught fire and is now drifting free of the city. We got to get back over there and pick it back up. Okay, we picked up the medicine hut again, but the bakery that was so the medicine hut came loose because the bakery that was between the medicine hut and the recycler was completely destroyed by that lightning strike. Man, I thought we were going to avoid that easy. That was a little harder than I anticipated, but we survived it. We just need to build the bakery up again. We hadn't actually banked um, any bread from that, but we will. We will. All right. Enough of the driftwood, man. We need to get out and find something to eat. Kelp Forest School of Fish, right over there. That's where we're going next. Let me rotate around so that that is right in front of us. I can speed up time again. Speed slowed down to normal for the storm, but we can speed it up again. I think I say we've got enough wood, but you've never really got enough wood. Well, that wood's gone. I'm not going to stop over here at this other driftwood pile. I'm going to pick up this drifting resource as we move toward the school of fish and kelp forest. It's out this way. All right, good. That was junk, so that's going to be transformed into plastic, which we have plenty of. Plastic, I'm finding a little bit, in terms of balance, I always have more plastic than I need, always. Just a little feedback for the devs there in terms of balance. Always have more plastic than I need. That's my main. What I use it for is my main selling, my main trading good. I know that I'll always have more plastic than I need, so I can always go ahead and sell that plastic for whatever other things I need. Another kelp forest on the way to a destroyed ship. Driftwood pile off there. School of fish with a destroyed ship there. That's good. So let's, in terms of in wow, there's a trading post there. Underwater Peak, Kelp Forest and School of Fish. Another one over here. This should really, if we hit this next, our food troubles should be behind us because we'll have banked a lot of kelp and a lot of fish, and we'll have the bakery up and running here. The bakery, which is kind of facing the wrong way. People will still come to work at this even though it's facing out toward the water, but that's not how I should have built it. Oh well. All right, let's try to remember where that is. We'll keep our view centered on that. We've suctioned up all the fish that were down there, and we're running out of room to store this stuff. I don't feel like we're really in a position to start to trade away this stuff. We could trade away a bunch of plastic, obviously, but we're going to need another storehouse at some point, so let's go ahead and get that built. That will free up some storage space because they're taking materials out of storage to build the storehouse, but it will also eventually give us more room to store stuff. Another school of fish and another kelp forest and school of fish here. We should be fine on food after this. Well, I say that, but we're already not in a good place with that. I mean, our nourishment is down to 41%. People are definitely hungry, and they want us to build more storehouses. They're not going to bring in any more food and stuff until we build this storehouse. Get it built, guy. All right, it's built. It's built. So now we're bringing in more stuff. Man, these peeps are hungry. I've only got 38 people, and we've hit a bunch of food sources right off the top here. And we're still behind the curve in terms of food. Our nourishment is going up. It was at 41, now it's at 44%. Hunger is only at 5%. Now we can move to this next school of fish. I don't think we're really ahead of the curve yet. I think our top priority still has to be food. There's another school of fish out there, and there was that other school of fish here and the kelp over here. So we're okay on wood, we're okay on metal, we're plenty fine on plastic. So let's keep focusing on the food until we get ahead of the curve where we're actually banking enough food so that these people aren't hungry anymore. Right now at 48%, they're still just catching up to be. They're still hungry. They're still catching up to being hungry. Um, so let's keep focusing on the food here for just a minute. We're still at fast speed. I would love it. I asked the devs about getting a third speed going. They said they had one at one point, and it was creating physics problems for them, physics errors. My suggestion for that would be reduce the. Okay, when you get far enough away from the city, the buildings disappear and you just see the platforms. So I'd say at 3 times speed, take away all the platforms. Just make it so that's the price you pay for going to 3 times speed is you don't see the buildings on the platforms. All you see are empty platforms. But if that could help with the physics issues that they were having from being at 3 times speed, I really do think there needs to be a third speed here. And when I originally presented this to the devs, I presented it to them in terms of me making YouTube videos. Uh, and there's a lot of downtime, and I want to keep people interested in the game. So not so much for me playing, but for you guys. But since then, I've come to realize that it is about me remaining interested, and you guys retaining your interest. And I think that it is important to find a way to get the third speed happening here. Another survivor raft out there, which I think we could, man, I say we could support it, but we're still behind the curve on food. Nutrition's up to 52%. Remember, it was down as low as 41% a little while ago. But I think before we pick up any new survivors, I think we need to get on top of uh, this hunger curve. Yeah, the food's going out as fast as it's coming in still, which is bizarre because I got 3 fishermen or fishers, and I've got 3 foragers bringing in the kelp. That should be enough to feed 38 people. I've seen that be enough to feed 50 people. I'm not sure why it's not feeding these guys. I think they're still trying to catch up. Peyton discovered rotting corpses in a bag of trash while recycling. They threw up and gained hunger, so that's not good. A new villager has been born, so we've got 39 villagers now. I'm going to head over and get the destroyed ship with the fish next, and then the kelp forest beyond that next. We got to keep focusing on the food here for the time being. The brewery's on fire again. That is 6 fires in the first 23 minutes of gameplay. That's too much. Somebody's sick, we can actually send a doctor to help them now. Our bakery is still waiting for resources, but we have the grains and the water it needs. I think that's because I built this facing with the entrance facing away from the city. I think I'm going to have to deconstruct this, which gets us some resources back, but not all of them, and then build it again facing with the entrance facing in toward the city, which is a little hard to tell which is the entrance here when I build this. If this is going to be a thing, devs, where you have to build it the proper way, you need to make it a little more clear, a little more obvious which is the proper way. I think that's the proper way. I'm going to have to wait till it's built to find out. All right, we've beat the fish up there. We need to move on to this destroyed ship with the school of fish. We got a lot of people working on stuff, so we're not going to be moving that fast. But we'll try to get this done. It may be possible to do both of these at the same time, the school of fish and the destroyed ship, if we get this lined up correctly. We just pause movement here until we get over this way. And then this way, and then slide it in. Oh, nope. Oh no, the scavengers were on the other side. Derp. Well, Fish is the most important thing for us right now, so let's get the fishers going first, and then we'll swivel around and get the scavengers grabbing that scrap metal. We're up to 53% nourishment, even with a villager finding a human body and losing hunger as a result. Okay, this is getting what it needs now. It's getting water. It's got the water it needs. It's got the wood it needs. It just needs, oh, the flour. That's what it needed. I didn't need to deconstruct that at all. All I needed to do was build a freaking mill. All right. Hold on. Before we get started on the mill construction, let's get this lined up so we can harvest that destroyed ship. Okay. They'll be working on that now. Now we need a mill to turn the grain into flour, to turn the to be combined with the water to make bread. We'll put it facing the front of the raft so that it gets the water or the air as we move. Okay, where are we going from here? Well, there's some survivors over there. We're still not banking any food, which makes me reluctant to go pick them up. I'd really like to get these people fed, not hungry anymore, before we add any more onto our city here. I'm not seeing. I got driftwood, a lot of driftwood. No food. Destroyed ship with no school of fish or anything. Well, let's head over to the destroyed ship for now, for lack of any place better to go. Destroyed ship with crude oil out there. Crude oil is what, once we build motors so that our people don't have to row us everywhere, we got more fires. 7 fires in the first 27 minutes of gameplay. Seems like a lot of fires. A kelp forest that we just stumbled across here. Definitely going to take advantage of that as soon as this ship is pulled together. And now we're getting to the point where we got to start thinking about defenses, because it's been a while since the pirates attacked, and we're going to need some defenses here. So let's build, for one thing, let's build a harpoon tower up here. Well, that might not work. Back in here might work. We want the harpoon tower to be able to engage people entering the storehouse, because the pirates are going to go right for the storehouse. So that is still within range of the storehouse. So we'll build one there. Let's build, we don't really have enough people to build a guard house, because that's going to take 4 people off of other duties, and they'll do nothing but sit in the guardhouse and train. Now, they do get better at being guards the longer you leave them in there. But I don't know that we have enough people to do that. We just left that bunch of survivors back there. But again, we're not banking any food at all so far. All right, great. Our mill has been built. It is now producing the flour that will be used to make the bread in the bakery. That was not an issue with the bakery facing the wrong direction, as I said earlier. It was just an issue with there not being flour to go in there. All right, now the bakery has everything it needs to make bread, or almost. It's got 3 of the 5 flour it needs. It needs 1 more shipment of flour. And here it comes, and now it's making bread. Great. This will help a lot, because once there's a 3rd item for them to be eating, it will really kind of spread things out a little bit. We got a whale over here, and in the interest of getting more food, we're going to have to head over toward this whale. The whale is going to require us to build harpooners. Let's start with one. Well, let's go ahead and get one going now. Jeez, there's never a good place to build these harpooners. I like to maybe over on the same side as the deep divers, because for reasons. But then once the harpooner is built, we're also going to need a a butcher to actually butcher up the meat. So let's get one of those going. And at this point, we're going to have to start thinking about looking ahead toward building a motor. Um, See, this is what I'm talking about, man. You know, I keep harping on Sid Meier, uh, the developer of Civilization, and all his good stuff. And he famously said at some point that good gaming is all about making difficult, meaningful decisions. This game is nothing but difficult, meaningful decisions. Do I build this now or do I wait? Do I build this next? Do I build this next to the completely flammable greenhouse that keeps catching on fire, or do I build it somewhere else? All right, the harpooner is almost completed. As soon as it's done, 89, 90, 95%, 100%. As soon as it's done, it'll start harvesting that whale, and then we'll start cooking up the whale, and then we'll have a fourth type of food for these people to choose from that will really ratchet up their nourishment. If they can eat kelp or seaweed and fish. You know what, guys? If you call them kelp forests out in the world, devs on a boat, you need to call it kelp here so it matches. Okay, you're calling it seaweed here. All right. So if they're eating kelp and fish and bread and meat, their nourishment is gonna go way up, and they're gonna be much, much, much happier. So let's work toward that by pulling in some meat here. The meat will go to the butcher. The butcher will, or the whale meat will go to the butcher, and then it'll go over to, and then it'll turn into meat, and they'll eat the meat. And yeah, so already we're banking some food for the very first time since we started this session. We've got 9 kelp, 3 fish, and 6 bread stored, not being eaten right away, but being stored. So that's what we're looking for, and their nourishment is up from a low of 41% up to 69%. All right, so now let's look around for what else we can do. We have lots of plastic, 427 plastic right now. We could trade away a bunch of that plastic for food, for instance, to get us a leg up on. There's a survivor's raft out there, at least one, possibly two. School of Fish with a destroyed ship. All right, we're going to go over to Buoy Face over here and do a little bit of trading, try to unload some of um, the plastic that we're stockpiling, hopefully for food, if we can trade it for food. There's no way to tell what these trading posts are going to have to offer you. It's a random selection. So they may have food for us, they may not. This harpooning is taking a really long time because we only have one harpooner. We could build a second one, but our population is still only at 37. See the green stuff now? We're generating pollution. We've got a lot of production going on over here. We've got the bakery and the harpooner working and the mill working, and that's a storehouse. But anyway, they're generating a lot of stuff that's being dumped into the water, generating pollution. That is going to make our people sick if we let them sit here for too long. And we are letting them sit here for too long because we have to wait for this harpooner to do his work. Let's see how much whale is left. 36% of whale carcass left. We're just going to have to sit here on this and get sick. Maybe we can rotate around a little so we're not totally sitting right on top of it. All right, it looks like, did we finish? No, there's still more. We're just going to try to rotate around a little bit. Yeah, this game is less finished than um, most, if not all, of the other new games I have to choose from, and it still got me freaking hooked. More hooked than any of the other games. This is a gem in the rough, and if the devs don't do anything really harebrained to screw this up, I think they've got a an indie hit here. I'm not going to say a big AAA title type of hit, but they definitely have a hit that's going to appeal to people like me who are looking for a new take on the city builder because they've got nothing but difficult, meaningful choices in this game. It's really, 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 really good so far. All right, we gotta get. It's time for us to get more survivors on our raft. We are banking food, we're banking fish, we're banking bread, we're banking meat. So we do definitely have to be on the lookout for new survivors next or soon anyway. Somehow we got down to normal speed. Not sure how that happened. Oh, I hit escape at some point. That's how it happened. Devs, I don't really have a problem with you dropping us back down to normal when we hit escape to pause the game, but it, eh, mm, I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Leave it that way. Don't change it. Okay, let's head over to Buoy Face to do a little bit of trading, and then we'll look around, see if maybe we can see a batch of survivors to pick up. But if not, we've got that destroyed ship with the school of fish off to our right here. I'd love to be giving you a cardinal direction for that, but there's no compass in the game. So it's off to our right now. And we are at full speed, but we're moving pretty slowly now because we've got a lot of mass. We've got 24 and a half mass on this uh, city here and only 37 people available to row it. And of those 37, only 14 are rowing right now because 21 of them are actually working jobs. All right, let's hit a trading post. Let's see if we can unload a bunch of this plastic. Hold shift to advance by groups of 10. I only really need 200 at any one time, so let's see if we can sell 260 of plastic to them. Water, we've got a lot of wood. We need dirt. We need. All right, that's about it. So what can we buy here? That's not going to be too expensive. If we buy more flour, that'll give us a let up on the. Wow, their flour is expensive. Um, bread? Bread's expensive too. Well, yeah, we can get close with one loaf of bread and a bunch of flour to make our own. All right, that's good. Now let's head back over toward this direction where we can find the school of fish with the destroyed ship and maybe get lucky and see some survivors out here. Not seeing any right now. I have turned the music off. I think I said in the last episode that storm coming already. That was quick. Oh shoot! I should not have changed direction. That was stupid. I should have just kept us going right in the direction we were going because it was heading directly down the middle. So me changing directions like that was probably not a good idea. This might let it catch the edge of our city here. We're moving really, really slowly now because we have so few people and such a big city for so few people on it. I think we're going to be okay. It might catch a fisher here. Yeah, destroyed a fisher. Let's get him rebuilt right away. That's enough. And then he lit that one on fire. All right, just stop. Let's stop a second. Let them get that fire under control. Come on, guys. Get out there. Get it under control. So, I mentioned the water cannons before. That is something that we can look toward as well, is building a water cannon. Water cannons, the greenhouses are the things that catch fire most often, in my experience. So, and the water cannon can't shoot water at anything that's right underneath it. It needs to be a few squares away from it. So, uh, I would like to build something off to the right here to allow us to build a water cannon in a good spot. The storm slowed us back down to normal. I'll speed us back up to fast. I turned the music off. I said that there were 3 tracks in the last episode. I think it's really only one, maybe two. Um, and it gets old pretty fast. It's not bad music, but yeah, one or 2 tracks. I had to turn that off at a certain point. I think we can zig a little bit out of our way to grab this plastic. Our wood, since it's right on the kelp forest school of fish and a destroyed ship with school of fish, right out there. Plenty of food out there. So let's make a pit stop here and grab some wood. We're down to 100 wood. And as I've said in the last episode, at the start of the game, you not only need that wood to build new buildings, but you need wood to fire stuff like your recycler, your bakery, your smelter. All that stuff runs on wood. So you need a lot of wood at the start when you're doing both building and need it for these production buildings. So as I was saying with we don't have enough people yet. We're down to 37 population. We need to get some more survivors on here. Drifting resources, driftwood pile, drifting resources, survivors raft out there. I think at this point our food is not as big a concern as our population. I think we're going to, man, that's a lot of food we're leaving behind though if we leave this school of fish and kelp forest and the school of fish with the destroyed ship. That's a lot of food we're leaving behind. This is another difficult but meaningful decision that I'm being forced to make by this game, which means it's a good game. I'm going to go get this food first, and then we will try to head back out this direction if I can remember which direction we're heading and retrieve those survivors. Oh, I hit the ship. Move, shift over. We can be fishing at the same time, guys, if you just shift a little bit. There we go. Boom. Okay, stop. Spacebar stops your movement. Should I turn the music back on for you guys so you have something to listen to in these downtimes? I'm tired of it, but you guys might not be. Hold on a sec. Okay, the music's running again. And just help me remember, it's this way, right, for the survivors? Out this way? You're screaming, no, not that way. That's the wrong way. Yeah, I think that's the right way. While this is cooking. Oh, I hit escape, so it went back down to normal. That's fine. Oh, another kelp forest out that way. I'm not interested in anything out that way other than survivors. They've finished getting the kelp there. Now they're just finishing up the fish. A whale out there, but I think we're going to be okay on food after this. So I really need to start thinking about defenses, which is going to require us to get our granaries, our greenhouses on fire. All right, we've finished all that stuff. Let's get up here and get the fish first, and then we'll back off and rotate around to get the metal. This is another decision that I've had to wrestle with, and I haven't really come up with a good way to do it. So you want your fishers and something else close together. So if you've got a school of fish with a kelp forest, which is pretty common, then you need your fishers near your foragers so they can do both at the same time. If you've got a school of fish with a destroyed ship, which is also common, you need your scavengers close to your fishers to do them both at the same time. So I have to come up with a layout that keeps the fishers close to either the scavengers or the foragers, depending on what they're needed to harvest. And I haven't really thought about that yet, but maybe in the future. Maybe we could do a line of fishers, a horizontal line of fishers here, and then the scavengers and the foragers built off of that. Another difficult decision I will have to wrestle with for this game, because it's a good game that presents me with difficult, meaningful decisions. People are getting a little sad for some reason. I think we're running a little low on the grain, which means no, they got plenty of beer. They shouldn't be sad. I'm not sure why they're sad. Sadness is going down, but we got 75 beer stocked. They should be able to deal with their sadness, to drown their sorrows in beer. Oh, I keep bumping into that, which I think takes points off of it. Like, it will disappear faster. Every time you hit it, I think you lose a little bit of scrap metal. So I'm trying not to hit it, but don't hit it. Okay. Now I've completely lost track of where those survivors were. I still think they're out this way. We'll head that way next. But, you know, we could really head in any direction and hope to encounter survivors. We are polluting. We're polluting like crazy here. If you remember in the last episode, I said that there was a new building in the build menu, the filter station. This filters out surrounding polluted waters, capturing the pollution in a concentrated form. It requires gasoline to operate, which we don't have any of, because we have not built a refinery to turn the crude oil that we're bringing up off the ocean floor into gasoline. That'll be something else we have to worry about soon. Okay, there's a survivor's raft. We'll head right for that. It looks like there's some drifting resources we can pick up along the way, so this isn't a completely wasted trip. And then once we pick up those survivors, it looks like there's more stuff off to the left here. We got destroyed ships, driftwood pile, trash pile, and driftwood pile, all useful for us. Driftwood pile, drifting resource, pollution that we left behind. A dead whale out there. We've got 54 meat. Our nutrition is not a problem at all. I'm just grabbing these resources before we detour back toward the survivors. I get this first, and then this one. Nope, this one, and this one. That drifting resource could be junk, or it could be crude oil. And there are the survivors right there. Okay, why are you guys so unhappy? They got plenty of food. They're not making a lot of resource deliveries, which may be contributing to their unhappiness. But they got plenty of beer. You know what's weird is our beer is not going down at all. Rescue them. That's 4 survivors added to our city. Our beer is not going down at all. And these people are getting more and more unhappy, which leads me to suspect that there's something wrong with something's not working right. Wait, we built a brewery, didn't we? Where's our brewery? Did we never get around? No, we built a brewery. Bakery, harpooner, mill, storehouse, greenhouse, harpoon tower, smelter, recycler, medicine hut? Alright. Something weird happened here, early access wise. I'm sure that we had a brewery. Unless our brewery got destroyed somehow, we should still have a brewery. I don't know why we don't, but and our beer is at 75 and it's been at 75 since we started, and it's not going down and it's not going up. And I think that we've encountered some kind of early access glitch here. People are sick. We're going to send doctors out to help them. I think we've encountered a weird glitch here. Our brewery disappeared, and I don't think this beer is actually there. I don't think that it's counting as being there for our populace, which is why they're so unhappy right now. So that's just an early access thing for the devs to take note of. Fortunately, we had everything we needed to get this brewery up and running quickly. We're turning out just enough grains to feed our mill and produce flour to make the bread, but we've got a lot of bread right now. I'm gonna actually pause the work at the mill here so that all of our grains are ready to go to the brewery as soon as it's up and running, which it is now, and they'll deliver some. We got plenty of water for it. They'll have some grains for it soon, and then we'll be turning out beer again. And let's see what happens to the beer number down here, whether it goes up, down, resets to 0. Who knows what it's going to do. But in the meantime, we've finished harvesting the kelp and the fish there. Yeah, we're good on food now. We don't have to worry about food for a while. So let's look at what we do need. We got 100 wood, 72 metal, plenty of plastic, some scrap metal that'll be turned into more metal, dirt, 179 dirt is plenty. We really need the produced stuff, which is being the grains. We need more grains, is what we need. And we need to expand our population in a big way. So let's be looking for survivors' rafts or other cities from which we might induce some people to join our city. Usually they're swayed by how strong your city is. So with that in mind, we may, now that we have more people on our raft, we may look toward, we don't have a lot of stuff. Let's head over to the trash pile. We'll get a variety of things from that. We're back. We've got too much plastic already. But again, that's our trading resource. We can use that to trade for other stuff. Trash pile, drifting resource, driftwood. Probably make driftwood our next priority. There are 2 over here, plus a destroyed ship for scrap metal. The city's still moving pretty slowly because it is big without a lot of people on it. I would like to give these people some downtime so that they can get busy making babies. Well, the beer's up to 81 now. Are people drinking it? Yeah, okay, our happiness is going back up to 65, 68, 70. So people are drinking the beer. But now it's leveled off at 75, which it thinks is 0. But at least our happiness is better. All right. We sucked up all the trash pile. We got a bunch of plastic and a bunch of steel and wood from it. Let's head over to this driftwood pile to get more wood. And we really need more people. We need more people because we need to be thinking about defenses soon, and that's going to involve building a guardhouse and a ranger house for melee and ranged attacks against the pirates. We could be building a water cannon here, which dual use. It will be used to put out fires, but will also be used to deter. Well, what's going to happen is the pirates will set fire to things when they attack the city. So the water cannon helps in the defense of the city in the sense that it will put out the fires so that people can concentrate on, defeating or avoiding the pirates. Running a little low on storage space here. Now here is an excellent thing that you can do. Go down here to policies and send out a trade caravan. We could sell a bunch of the stuff that is clogging up our storerooms so far, but we also need to send villagers with the shipment. Let's send a little bit of bread. Just send 50 bread, maybe a couple of 20 dirt, and 110 plastic out on maybe a little bit, about 30 of our water. Oh gosh, we can sell all this beer because it doesn't actually count as it being there. And well, the problem is we need to send some villagers on this trade caravan, and the more that we send, the better the chances. More villagers increases the chance of a successful trade mission. I can't spare that many villagers is the problem. We're just going to send 2 on this caravan and hope that it... Oh, I have to pick something that we want from it. Let's get some more beer to keep people happy. No, we're turning out enough beer. Let's get some crude oil and some gasoline going. There goes our trade caravan. They just slammed into a ship. And our smelter's on fire. Okay, we finished that. Heading over to the driftwood pile. Still keeping an eye out for more people. Either some drifting survivors or a city that we can visit and try to entice them to join us. Butcher has no meat to process because we're not harvesting any whales, so I'm going to pause construction on that so he goes and does other stuff. I'm also going to pause our harpooner's work so that he goes and does other stuff. Where was our harpooner again? There. So pause that so that now we freed up 2 people to go off and do other things, which is good. That's what we need. People doing other things. Our scavengers are harvesting the driftwood from the pile here, but they're also going to be needed to harvest the steel off the destroyed ship. They can't do both at once, so we're just going to have to let them sit here and do their thing. While we look around and try to identify more survivors or a city. Fog's rolling in. It's going to make it harder to identify stuff farther away. So these are trade posts. We're not going to get any people from them. There's a school of fish out there. We might want to head toward the trade posts for lack of anything better to do. And get some fish off of the school of fish out there. I don't see anything else good out this way. Driftwood pile. There was some trash out there maybe. We are running out of storage room. I'm reluctant to build another storage house here. Storehouse. Because it's going to make our city so heavy, we just don't have enough people to move it around at a good clip. Here comes our trading expedition back. They brought back food. What? The trade caravan didn't find anyone to trade with during its trade mission. They've come back with the original resources, which is not what we wanted, and now it's on cooldown, and that's because the reason they weren't successful is because we didn't send enough people out on the trade expedition. So now we're kind of stuck. Now we kind of have to build another storehouse because the villagers are going to stop harvesting stuff if there's no place to store it. Shoot. I really don't want a third storehouse. We're not ready for a third storehouse yet. Oh, shoot. Well, We've got no choice. We're at max storage, and we're gonna have problems if we don't build that. Let's head over this direction, see what we find. There's a few things, good things over here. We need more driftwood. There's drifting resource we'll pick up along the way, and then a destroyed ship with a school of fish over here. So that'll be next. So I've gotten a city up to about 200 residents, at which point something terrible happened. There was a calamity, and it the problems just kind of snowballed because I had such a big city that we lost a bunch of people in one batch, and then there weren't enough people to gather up the resources that were being produced by the multitude of businesses in the city, which just kind of led to this snowball effect of people getting unhappy and leaving the city. Um, that was kind of a random event, kind of something that I could have prepared better for if I'd known the game better. But I didn't, so stuff got bad. So we've got one harpoon tower over here. We've got a water cannon over here that is being supplied with fresh water, distilled water. And there it goes, putting out our flaming greenhouse. Great. So we got School of Fish and Destroyed Ship over here, and then a whale out there, both of which will come in handy to us once it's time to get over there. Our population growth is going pretty slowly here for a number of reasons. One, that glitch with the beer that made them so unhappy they weren't reproducing. Now that should be fixed. It looks like our beer has reset after we sent it all away. Somebody just died. I just saw somebody jump overboard, but I didn't get a notification for it up here, as I should have. Things should be fine now. Their happiness is at 92%, which is more than enough. Their nourishment is at 81%, which is more than enough. We can increase the nourishment that they're getting from the food they're eating by building a galley. That also gives them a little happy. Oh, storm. We got to start moving in any direction until we figure out where it's coming from. And I was moving in the wrong direction, but it doesn't matter. I just want to be moving. Yeah, this did not start heading right at us, so we should be fine. It's going to interrupt our gathering a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, we're already outside of the storm's radius. Oh, it killed the destroyed ship that was there. Rats! It's funny, it still says destroyed ship. Nope, now it says School of Fish. Destroyed ship is School of War. We are locked at normal speed as long as the storm is active. As soon as it's gone, I'll speed us back up to fast. Our food is in great shape, guys. We got 84 kelp, 41 fish, and 188 bread, and 30 meat. Only thing we're missing are the shellfish, but that's not such a big deal. Our people are plenty happy with the food they're getting. 83% nourishment. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I sailed this right over the pile I was trying to collect. We're still going to try and get that school of fish. We might still head out to the whale. I'm still looking around for survivors, though. I'm not seeing any. So we just got to hope that our population is happy enough that they're procreating and making more citizens that way. Okay. We finished up that driftwood pile, heading over here to the school of fish. Our bakery is waiting for what? The mill. We're waiting for flour because I shut down the mill. mill work, please. Thank you. But as I said, we've got 188 bread, so that's not a problem. Yes, we are at fast speed now. Still moving really slowly because we don't have enough citizens to move this big ship around. It might be possible for us to do both of these at once if I get this set up right. If I swing us around and have the fishers on this side and then the harpooners on the other side. Harpooner needs to be unpaused. Butcher needs to be unpaused. And then now we might be able to do both of these at once if I rotate around. That's about as far away from the fish as our fishers are going to be able to get. I don't think that's going to be close enough to the whale for our harpooner. Nope, it's not. All right, it's going to be one or the other, not both. Let's get the fish for... Oh, we finished the fish. Great, we finished the fish. Now we just need to be over here, get the whale meat. Whale meat, because this whale is dead and we don't know how long it's been dead for, it could make some of our people sick, but I'm not worried about that because we've already built a medicine hut. Destroyed ship, another school of fish, driftwood pile, drifting resource. We've got 43 residents now, which is 23 actually working in our buildings and 20 carrying the stuff around. So it's not enough for us to build a guardhouse and take 4 of those workers out of the rotation to be training as guards. We need everybody that we have on board already doing the work that they're doing. So let's hold off on the guardhouse. That is going to make us vulnerable to any pirate attacks. This one harpoon tower and one water tower are not going to save us if the pirates attack. But, you know, I'm willing to deal with a pirate attack for now. And losing some of the stuff that we've got because we've got enough stuff. There's nothing that it's going to kill us to completely lose. We're up to 350 plastic, which means that it might be time to consider sending out another trade caravan now that this cooldown has expired. Why don't we do that? Let's send out 150 plastic. And wow, I don't want to send out any metal. We're going to need all that metal once we start building more harpoon towers, which we'll probably do right now that I know that we have that much metal. Send out 10 of our beer, and oh, we've got a lot of dirt. Let's send out some dirt and some bread. And what do we want in return? We want crude oil and gasoline, and then maybe some, what else? Shellfish? Okay, sure, shellfish. And let's send 5 people this time to increase the chances of this being a successful trading venture. We've been sitting in one place for so long that we're generating pollution around our mill and our bakery. Only way to get around that is to try to rotate the city around so that we don't have anybody actually sitting in the pollution getting sick. That seems to have worked. All right, any survivors out here for us to pick up? I'm not seeing any. It's getting dark now. It's going to be getting hard to see too. Not seeing any. Trade posts, driftwood pile. Boy, with all these trade posts around, it probably would have made a lot more sense for me to go to one of these trade posts rather than send off that trading expedition, which took people out of the city, people that we need. All right, we got all the whale. Let's head over here to this school of fish. Again, just trying to stay ahead of the curve on food so that people are fed and happy and procreating. Oh no, wait, we didn't finish the whale. There was still more whale being harvested. And that looks like we did it. Yeah, okay, now they're done. I think once that trading expedition comes back, we may call it an episode here. It's going to be a short episode. Really, what I wanted to the whole reason for me doing this episode, this is probably going to be the last one for a while because this is early access, because they're making great progress on it, and I want to show you guys the finished product at some point. But for the time being, I'll do one every once in a while if I have feedback for the devs. Pirates. Yeah, pirates. All right. Well, this will be a good way to end the episode. We got pirates inbound. There's nothing much I can do here. We've got one harpoon tower, one water cannon, no guard houses, no ranger houses. It's theoretically possible that I could build another harpoon tower before they arrive, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, with me thinking about it this long, it's no longer feasible, so we're just gonna have to wait. Here they come. And see how much of our stuff they steal. They're going to steal a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of stuff for them to steal. They're going to walk off with a bunch of peeps, a bunch of stuff. What we really can't have is them killing our people. With no survivors on the horizon, trade caravan just came back. They actually managed to receive. They traded our stuff, so we got crude oil, gasoline, and some fish. But here come the pirates. Our harpoon gun is firing at them, killing them, one-shotting them, which is fantastic, but we've only got one cannon down. They're going to start setting fire to stuff. That's where our water cannon is going to come into play. They've set fire to the brewery. The brewery's too close to the water cannon. Water cannon is not putting out the brewery. It should put out... and the smelter's too far away. This is not good. Water cannon should be doing some work here. I'm not sure why it's not. These things are all within its range. I feel like it's got a really finicky range. Like it's got a minimum engagement range and a maximum engagement range, but the stuff outside the maximum, this stuff is considered outside of its range, even though it's not for some reason. All right. There were 48 pirates. We killed 10 of them. We only lost 6 villagers, which is good. Yes, we lost a lot of stuff. Oh, wow, we lost a lot of steel. They stole 121 of our metal, 164 of our dirt. We lost a lot of valuable stuff there, but we did not lose a lot of citizens, which was my biggest concern. So we're only down to 38 citizens now, which is okay. We can still get our city moving at a very slow pace, but it's still moving. And I think we are going to call it an episode there. We've got corpses on board. We're going to toss them overboard. We're not going to eat them. And I think that, yeah, this is a good place to call it an episode. As I was saying, I really just wanted to show you guys that of all the 4 new games I got this holiday season, this is the game that keeps me wanting to play, that keeps me coming back for more. There's always a difficult decision to be made. There's always new stuff. Well, not new stuff happening, but stuff happening in new ways. Does that make sense? And it is just, this is a game that long after I've appreciated the beautiful, jaw-droppingly gorgeous graphics in Cliff Empire, the gameplay in this game is going to keep me coming back for more. Long after I've finished Disco Elysium and enjoyed every minute of it, but you're really only going to play through that once, maybe twice tops. This game I'm going to be coming back to for years because the gameplay is excellent and there's always something new, some new challenge that you're going to have to face because it's all somewhat randomly generated in terms of what you're encountering out here on the water, which makes every new game a fresh start. and presenting you with new challenges to overcome. So good job, devs on a boat, with coming up with some excellent, exciting gameplay. There's a city over there that might be willing to. Some of the people on that city, especially because it's on fire, might be willing to jump on board our city. So we should head over there and see what's up with that. But we are going to leave it here for now, and we'll pick this up in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the Buoyancy gameplay, and take my word for it, even though these graphics are not blowing you away, the gameplay will. Count on it. Definitely, definitely worth a buy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe, survivors.